Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm here with...
Silver from Silver Collectibles.
And we're going to be doing a FLUFFAL deck profile. And this deck is a really awesome, basically OTK deck that can just go in for games super easy with some really awesome fusion monsters. But before we get into this, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description down below for all those awesome rewards. And Silver, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to you, actually, because... FLUFFALs was actually the first deck profile I saw on your channel, and that's what really helped me get into more of a competitive mindset when it came to deck building.
Well, I am so glad I was able to help, especially with everybody commenting like that too, about me helping them with different decks. It's so cool to actually meet somebody in person, to be able to actually see who I can actually help with the decks that I build.
Exactly, because I've been watching you for like 4 years now, I think.
Well, I'm so glad to actually have you on the channel. So let's go ahead and take a look at your FLUFFAL deck, because this deck is really awesome.
So funny thing is, you actually said that this deck is going second. This is a going first build.
You built a going first build for this?
This is a going first build.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and start off with the...
Does it still OTK?
It can still OTK.
Okay.
So starting off, you run 3 copies of FLUFFAL Dog. This is pretty much the searcher for the deck. You summon it, you can search a FLUFFAL. And then, what's the other effect? Then if, like... Yeah,
it also searches Edge Imp Chain.
It searches FLUFFAL or Edge Imp Sabers.
Yeah, it only searches Edge Imp Sabers, though, for some reason.
It does not search Chain, because I think Chain came out a little later.
It did. This was the first wave of support.
Yeah. And then we have the 3 copies of FLUFFAL Penguin.
I love this card.
For those who don't know what this does, if you summon this, you can special summon any FLUFFAL from your hands.
Yeah.
Also, if it's used for a fusion summon for a... actually, just sent to the graveyard for a fusion summon, draw 2, discard 1.
Yeah.
So it's a miniature Graceful Charity.
It's kind of like almost the same way that Liquid Soldier works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same way. Kind of, sort of, but it's not if that card doesn't count if it's banished.
Exactly. And then I also run 2 copies of FLUFFAL Bear. For those who don't know what this does, you can discard it from your hand to actually set, not search, set a toy vendor from your deck so it plays around the ash.
It does.
Also, it has an effect of if you summon it, you can add a polymerization from graveyard to hand. But
by tributing it.
Yeah, by tributing it. It doesn't really come up that often, but the toy vendor effect definitely does.
Oh, yeah, all the time. The toy vendor effect is really a great effect, too, because getting that toy vendor to your side of the field can help you get cards in grave. It can also let you draw cards, which is really, really good. And it's a searcher if it goes to grave.
Not just that. Yes, it does search when it goes to grave, and that's not a once per turn.
Yeah, it's not.
And the other effect, which we'll go into in a little bit, is also just a once per turn. So you can, if you have multiple copies, you can use multiple copies.
Yep, they stack.
So continuing on, I do run 2 FLUFFAL Wings. Pretty much these 2 cards is the draw engine of the deck.
Yep.
It allows you to draw 2 and then search 1 card if you can get this set up.
Yeah, FLUFFAL Wing is so good.
It's so easy to set up as well. I'll be going into more detail on that combo in my video that's coming up. And then for the one-ofs, I run 1 copy of FLUFFAL Owl because sometimes you do just need that normal summon to either add a polymerization or just pay 500 to fusion summon.
Yeah, it's pretty much walking poly.
And then I also do run 1 copy of FLUFFAL Octopus.
You run Octopus in here?
Yes, because sometimes because it allows you to, when you fusion summon with it, return 2 banished monsters to your graveyard.
Wow. Okay. So like if you use it with for fusion, you can grab the pieces back.
Exactly. And
that's cool.
I do run the 1 copy of FLUFFAL Dolphin. People run this at more. I don't really run the Toad engine because I feel like it's going to get hit soon enough.
It probably will.
So I don't really run more because I don't want to, because it's going to get hit eventually.
Yeah. I usually think run 2 in mine.
Yeah.
But it's still really good. I see the substitution for the Octopus over the 2nd copy of Dolphin, which is kind of a neat tech. I like that. That's a really cool idea, Silver. I like that a lot.
I came up with it in 2020, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Also, for those who don't know what this does, when it's normal summoned, you can does it say add or set? You can target 1 toy vendor in your graveyard and set it.
Okay, so it kind of recycles your copies that you will eventually get in the grave.
Exactly.
Huh.
And then moving on to the Edge Imps, because that's actually it for the FLUFFALs.
Okay.
I don't run sheep or cat because we can't run Verte anymore.
No,
so why bother searching sheep to summon it to go into Verte when there's no Verte?
Yep, there isn't. The only reason I ran sheep at 1 or still run sheep at 1 in mine is so you can bounce a copy of dog, but it's so situational sometimes.
Yeah, it really is.
So I understand not running it.
For the Edge Imps, I run 3 copies of Edge Imp Chain. For anybody who hasn't watched the meta recently, if this card attacks, you can. Does a searcher add?
It adds from deck to hand.
Yeah.
Another copy of itself.
Yeah, it searches another copy of itself. But the main thing is when it's used, like whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you can search any FRIGHTFUR card. Which is actually really good for this deck.
Which in Despia is always patchwork.
We can forget Despia.
Yeah.
This deck should be the only one to run this.
I know, it should be, but it's such a good card.
And then, of course, you're on the 1 copy of Sabers.
Oh, you got the Lost Art. You got the Lost Art one.
I had to. This is one of my favorite decks.
Yeah, and it looks so good being Lost Art too. Like, I don't know why they made it just like a glowing pair of scissors in the TCG.
Exactly. Censorship.
Yeah, it should be Edge Imp lightsabers.
But for those who don't...
I couldn't help it. It was there, okay? Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay. So for those who don't know what this does, is if it's in the graveyard, you can return 1 card from your hand to the top of the deck to summon this, which can actually help to stack your deck for a card we'll see in a second called Toy Vendor.
Kind of like a Plague Spreader Zombie.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this one actually doesn't banish itself, so you can use it over and over again.
Exactly. And this actually has another purpose for this deck that helps it go first.
Yep.
You'll see that in a second. So of course we do run the 2 copies of Scythe. This card allows you to fusion summon on your opponent's turn, which is actually really good for this deck. And you'll see why in a second.
And it's actually really silly too with that card because if you do go second, you can make Whale on their turn on the first turn. Like you haven't even played a card yet.
Exactly.
You can just activate that and make Whale.
But there is a reason why. There's a use for Whale that you'll see in a second.
Okay.
So to wrap up for the FLUFFAL or FRIGHTFUR Edge Imp cards, I run 1 copy of FRIGHTFUR Meister.
Meister.
This card has a pendulum effect that says that you can tribute any 1 Edge Imp monster to summon a fiend from the deck with the same level. It does not have to be an Edge Imp. It could be any fiend.
Wow. That is really cool. You just tribute a level 4 or lower FRIGHTFUR monster, FRIGHTFUR, FLUFFAL, or Edge Imp monster to special summon 1 fiend monster from your deck with the same level, but with a different name.
And what level is Edge Imp Sabers?
Edge Imp Sabers is 3. What are you summoning?
Lilith, Lady of Lament.
Lilith. So what are you digging for with that?
I'll go ahead and show you actually.
What are you digging for with that?
3 copies of Necrofusion.
Oh, that's spice.
This right here, as well as the next card you'll see, is actually the reason why this is going first.
Oh, that is spice.
Pretty much. I'll go into full combo in my video. However, main thing is this can search this.
Yeah.
This on your opponent's turn into your Tiger is a field wipe.
Yeah, and you can pop multiple cards.
You can pop multiple cards, and it doesn't just have to be your opponent's cards, which we'll see in the next card.
You can pop Vendor.
You can pop Vendor, or you can pop Scythe.
Yeah, you can pop Scythe.
I do run the 1 copy of Scythe because this deck can actually use it without having to go through all the other art, the whole DPE kind of stuff, which
and like needle fiber and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Does yours still go needle fiber?
No, not at all. Moving on to the spell cards, we run 1 copy of not 1 copy, 3 copies of Toy Vendor. For those who don't know what this card does, it is a continuous spell that says you can discard 1 card, draw 1 card, reveal it. If it's a FLUFFAL, you can special summon any monster from your hands.
Yeah.
And if it's not, you just have to send it to the top of your graveyard, to your graveyard.
Wow. So it can get cards like your, it can get some of your Edge Imp monsters in the grave.
It can get the Edge Imp monsters into the grave, or it can get you a special summon of like any of your FLUFFAL monsters.
Yeah.
FLUFFAL Dog, of course, is the best.
Oh, yeah.
But if you use Sabers to put a FLUFFAL back on top of the deck, you're guaranteed to special.
You stack it.
You stack it.
Yeah. Wow, that's smart.
This also has another effect that if it's into the graveyard, you can search for any FLUFFAL monster or an Edge Imp Sabers, which, as I said, this card is not a once per turn. For either, it's a soft once per turn for its first effect. The search effect is not actually you can do it as many times as you want.
You can just do it as many times as you want, which is really crazy that you can get those searches because you can get cards like you can get like FLUFFAL Dog and then get another search.
Exactly.
So you can get like a +2.
That's actually it for. Well, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this as well. 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods to send the Toy Vendor.
Yeah.
This card just searches the deck.
It's a Rhoda.
It's a Rhoda. We're running a total of 3 copies of Rhoda.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you just send the copy to Toy Vendor and then it gives you a search.
Exactly. And then we run 3 copies of Patchwork.
This card's dumb.
This card should only be allowed for this deck.
Yeah. It should lock you into FRIGHTFURs.
FRIGHTFURs and FLUFFALs.
Yep. It should lock you in. And no, I'm saying like you can only fusion summon FRIGHTFURs for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
That's what it should do.
That's what it should do, but it doesn't, and now it's being abused.
It is. It is in Despia.
It is. And then we run 3 copies of the Polymerization.
You got the OG artwork.
I had to get this artwork.
You got the OG one. There we go. You got to get the originals for this.
Exactly. And to wrap off for the fusion cards, I run 1 copy of FRIGHTFUR Fusion.
Yep, and then the 3 copies of Necro Fusion along with it.
Exactly.
So it's a total of like 10 fusion cards in the deck. Something like that. No, you got Awalt too, so that's 11.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then to wrap off the deck, I do run 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This can get your wings to the graveyard if you don't draw it. And then the 1 copy of the grave because I don't want it to get stopped.
Technically, it's 13 because you play Scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps going up.
It keeps going up.
You're fusion summoning, put it that way, every turn. Multiple times a turn. Sometimes on your opponent's turn.
Of course. Because why not?
Yeah.
And then for the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Sabretooth. This card is actually really good.
It's broken. That card is broken. Still to this day. I love it. It's such a good card.
For those who don't know what it does, if you summon it, you can actually special summon 1 FRIGHTFUR from the graveyard.
Yeah. It just grabs back the one that you used to fusion summon it. Also,
all FRIGHTFUR monsters I control gain 300 attack.
Yeah. It just gives them an extra boost too.
And if you use 3 or more, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, but that doesn't really come up as often. Then I run 2 copies of Kraken.
Yep.
This is the main card you want to summon first. If you're going second, because you can summon this, pop your opponent's card. It cannot attack direct.
But it can still attack twice.
It can attack twice. However, if you use this to summon this and bring this back out, it forgets to use its effect.
It's a soft once per turn.
It's a soft once per turn, and you can attack.
Yeah.
So
you can attack directly.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it forgets that it uses its effect.
So since this deck is can be going first or going second, depending on if you decide to side out the going first cards, you can technically summon this and this easily on your opponent's turn after clearing their board. This is 8,000 exact.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is. Wow. That's really cool.
It really is. And of course, the main target for the Necrofusion is the FRIGHTFUR Tiger. I do run 2 copies of this.
Double pop.
Exactly.
Yep, you want to have more pops in the deck.
Because for those who don't know what this does, for up to the amount of monsters used for the fusion material, you can destroy that many cards on the field.
Yeah, the FRIGHTFUR Tigers are really good in the deck too, because the FRIGHTFUR Tigers are just so good at just popping extra cards on the field. And it also gives, I think it's a 300 attack point boost for each FLUFFAL monster and FRIGHTFUR monster that you control.
It gives everyone.
Yeah, it gives everybody a boost of 300 attack.
Yeah, for each FLUFFAL or FRIGHTFUR.
Yeah, and they well, you can only control one of it. That's the only downside to the card. Yeah. Is you can only control 1 copy of Tiger.
You can only control yeah. And then moving on to the 1-ofs, I do run the 1 copy of Wolf. This doesn't, when I played this, I actually cut this originally. But then I realized if you can Necrofusion or FRIGHTFUR Fusion, to attack your opponent, it's going to attack the amount of monsters used for it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then, of course, we run the 1 copy of Cruel Whale. This card pretty much says when it's summoned, you can pop 1 card on each player's side of the field. This is the main card you use to pop your set Scythe, but you can also use Tiger.
Have you considered playing it more than 1?
I did. It was played in my deck at 2 for a while until they hit
Verte.
True King.
True King. Oh yeah, because it's level 9. Yeah.
But now it's only really seen as a 1-of.
That makes sense.
To wrap up, moving on with the extra deck to the Link monsters, I run 1 copy of Cross Sheet, 1 copy of Dagda.
Get you Scythe.
Apollosa, because sometimes we can set up enough monsters going first.
Oh yeah, this deck can summon out a bunch of monsters at the same time.
And because we don't really use a lot of Link monsters, I run Boral Sword instead of Access Code.
Because why not more OTKs?
Exactly. Because if you are forced to go second, you have going second options.
Yep, you can just OTK.
Moving on to the last cards of the extra deck, We run 1 copy of 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon,
Spell Negate.
Spell Negate, and Lightning Rod.
Yeah, it is.
And then I actually do run a little bit of spice here. Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon.
Oh.
It's 2 level 8s, and you can take an opponent's monster, make its attack 3,000 attack, and its name becomes Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon.
Never seen that before in a FLUFFAL deck. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Also, after this, and it's a permanent take too.
Yeah.
And then to overlay on top of it, because it's a Galaxy Eyes card, you have to have a card to overlay on top of it. We have Galaxy Eyes Neo Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon.
Okay.
For those who don't know what this card does, it can attack 3 times and then take the same. If it can attack for each Xyz, you can attach up to 3 Xyz materials from this card.
Yeah.
And then attack that many times and take that many cards from your opponent.
Yeah, and then if you don't have this particular card, you can use Full Armor Photon or Blade Dragon as well, because they get pops, which is another option for you guys if you want to play that too.
However, this card actually was a promo, and they're actually really easy to come by. I have like 10 of them.
I got you.
But that's actually it for the deck profile.
Okay, so thank you so much, Silver, for this one. I'm so glad that I've had you on the channel, because it's just so cool to have a fan on the channel, and it's really cool to hear that you've been watching the channel for so long and being able to help out with your passion for Yu-Gi-Oh. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to put you on the channel. So
no problem.
Anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out Silver's channel down in the pinned comment. That would be a big help, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.